Hey guys, it's Jessie here from Tonkadale, and today we're talking about picking the right pot for your plant and a little bit of transplanting 101. First, I'd like to introduce you to the nursery pot. Here they are. We do our very best to keep an assortment of grower pots or nursery pots, plastic inserts, whatever you want to call them, available for all different sizes of plants and all different sizes of pots. You may have noticed you're in this kind of a situation where your philodendron Mia has outgrown its 4-inch pot and it's time to repot. So let's talk about the signs that your plant needs to be transplanted. First of all, the roots may be coming out the bottom of the pot. The root to soil ratio is much more root heavy than soil heavy. I don't have an exact figure. One way to tell if this is happening is if when you water, the water runs quickly out the bottom of the pot instead of absorbing into the soil. You can also see the height of the plant to the pot ratio has become askew. It's also become very tippy and it looks like it's ready to explode. When you're transplanting, we always advise that you move your plant up one, maybe two sizes. We don't want to skew the soil to root volume too much because too much soil will act as a sponge and hold moisture too close to the roots for too long, causing a root rot situation. So for a 4-inch pot, I just generalize and call this a 4-inch pot. It'd be real nice if there was some standardization as far as pot shape and pot diameter went, but we're growing stuff all over the place. You just never know what you're going to get. So from a 4-inch pot, I think this one is ready to go all the way into a standard 6-inch pot. Those roots are really going to take off once they're broken up a bit and allowed to experience a new soil situation. There are a few schools of thought when it comes to planting plants in pots. Do you plant them directly in the decorative container or do you plant them in a plastic liner to simply drop into your container? This is a big debate and I'm okay with either one. I think whatever works for you and sometimes whatever works for the pot. So if we're planting our Mia into a 6-inch grower pot, we're going to need to find a decorative container that it looks good in. Another option would be to find a decorative container for our Mia that already has a drain hole. So we can simply plant it in that pot, have a drain hole and a saucer to match so that we are ensuring optimal health of the plant. The trouble comes in when we find a pot we love, it does not have a drain hole, and it may not have an insert that fits it correctly. At this point in our transplanting operation, we may decide to drill a hole in this container so we can plant Mia directly inside, but then we're left with the saucer conundrum. The saucer conundrum is there ain't no saucer for this pot. That presents you with the opportunity to mix and match. We do try to stock neutral saucers, clear saucers, terracotta saucers, things that mix and match with all sorts of pots so that you can figure out the correct situation for your plant. I chose this waterproof saucer. It's just a terracotta, kind of a creamy color, and I think it coordinates quite nicely. Let's head back to the shop and give this pot a hole. Did you know we're able to drill almost any pot for you? You just have to let us know. Safety first, folks. Now we're ready to plant. Okay, we're back. Let's take it to the next level. Say you have like a floor plant or a larger plant, and maybe you'd like to display it in a really wonderful basket. I'm going to show you a trick for choosing the correct container to fit a basket and engineer it so it doesn't drip all over the floor. So here we have 12 to 14-inch basket. I love the deep saucers because they give you a little bit of insurance. So we can insert that right in the bottom. It does provide a little bit of rigidity for this floppy basket. And then we come over here and pick out our nursery pot. So I'm going to start here with this one. It's called a number 3. Nursery pots are named in numbers. This one's a number 3. Don't ask me why. That one does fit nicely. We might be able to step it up a notch, go to a number 5, and that fits perfectly. So we have a number 5 container about 12 inches in diameter. Maybe you have a Monstera that you bought in a 10-inch grower pot and it is beefy. It is ready to move up. This would be the perfect opportunity here. By moving up just one pot size, you're going to add about 2 inches in diameter and a couple of inches in height, giving that plant the opportunity to expand its roots and enjoy some new soil, some new organic matter without causing an overwatering situation. All right, a lot of times I hear plant parents talking about buying a new plant and there's a rule that you need to transplant it right away, or there's a rule that you should wait 2 weeks, or there's a rule that you should only transplant in the spring and summer months. Well, let's throw those rules out the window and talk about just a little bit of common sense. Now, I have this really cute Hoya macrophylla. One thing I know about Hoyas is that when we get them in, they're not usually root bound. They're just kind of on their root development journey. I know by popping off this pot, the soil to root ratio is more in favor of the soil. So there is no need to transplant this plant. Macrophylla would be perfectly happy living in this plastic pot for several months while the roots continue to develop. However, a green plastic pot is not everyone's forte, so you might choose a decorative container that can cover that up. Now, my intention is to eventually plant the macrophylla in this white container. That's going to be the perfect bump up because you can see there is going to be a tiny bit more diameter, but we're adding ballast and a little bit of width at the bottom. So that'll add more soil to root volume once those roots begin to develop a little further. And I'm okay with that rim sticking out for just a little bit of time. I know what the plan is. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at Tonkadale for lots of transplanting tips and tricks, and we're happy to drill for you.